G'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Hopefully everyone is okay and getting along with their lives at the moment with everything that's going on. We're here in Melbourne and things are starting to get locked down and so on. So, but you know what, bonsai goes on. You need something to pass the time. You need something to enjoy. I haven't been posting that many videos of me reworking trees and restyling trees. Pretty much because most of my collection has been worked on. So sometimes I'm privileged enough to have some clients and for me to work on some of their trees. So this is one of 3 trees that I'm recently doing some work for someone, and I always look forward to these kind of challenges. I really enjoy looking at some trees and trying to get them to a better state. You know, trying to put in place a vision that the owner has, but hasn't been able to try and achieve, or just getting trees back looking really good. So today I've got a cedar. It looks like an Atlantic cedar. It's quite small, small needle. I'm not 100% sure which cedar it is. I've seen quite a few of these kind of looking trees before with cedars with the bends and twists in them. Could be even one from Hans a long time ago as well, from Bonsai that is. Could be one of his from a while ago. But like with cedars, you can probably see is once the wire's off, or you haven't wired it, everything bounces back up. So this branch might have been back down here somewhere, but the wire comes off and it goes back to where it is, and all the branches seem to be going back in that position. The apex is kind of really flattened down, so we want to try and see what we can do today and restyle this tree. It's pretty much going to be pretty much just wiring up. There's not much to do other than wire and restyle, which is a big enough job anyway. There's some bit of dead wood here. I mean, bit of shari there, bit of gins and stuff that I've cleaned up a little and painted with lime sulfur. I'll let that dry out. That's the first task to do. Also had quite a few dead little needles on there. Still got a few more. I'm trying to. Usually what I do is I put a nice trick so you don't mess up the soil. Is I pretty much put a towel around the base because I don't need to do anything to the roots or anything like that. Just put a towel around the base so that when you're working and imagine the dead needles falling and they fall on the towel and then not on the soil surface, so it's much easier to pick up and get rid of. So today just purely it's going to be a wiring up and restyling. I really want to do something trying to get this apex up a bit more. More of a give it a bit of a top, give it a bit of a rounder apex. I mean a bit of a pointier apex. I think a lot at the moment it's very flat and doesn't really give a good story of the tree. The tree tends to go this way to see the whole tree's bending this way, but it looks like all the foliage is on that side. So I'm going to see how I can balance that out. I think I would like to see a bit more emphasis down here. So I want to get this, see if I can bend this branch down into here a bit more. Yeah, maybe shorten a little bit on this side. Maybe create the apex in here somehow, somewhere. Make it a bit of a taller tree and give it a more apical kind of look. So really, it's going to be me just wiring away. Not much more to do. When I'm wiring, I'll make sure I pluck anything that's growing down. Same story as always. But this tree, I don't think we're removing much foliage, if any at all, apart from the ones that are growing down. So you can see one in there already. You can see this little bit here, possibly. Just come in, cut it off. Anything that's growing down. Oh, there's a couple, but we don't be much more than that. Just things that are growing down. Most of the rest is very nice, small, compact. I might leave the longer shoots just so it can grow a little bit more and strengthen. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the before shot. I'm going to start to wire out. I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. I probably want to set this branch first. Even though this is lower, I think I want to set this to know where, if I set this, then I know where everything else is going to be. So that's what I think I'll do today. I'll set this branch up where I want it to be, and then I can set everything else up based on that branch. Yeah. Alright. It's going to be interesting actually up here because it's hard to show you, but there's a very bare bit in this bit until it gets up here. So we're going to have to really figure out what, maybe we twist it up a bit more, maybe put a bit of more twist in there to create a bit more top. I think that's got to come up a bit, just up a bit more, and then create that and then bring it down. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge, but yeah, I love a challenge. So thank you. When I get a chance to work on clients' trees, I really appreciate it. It's a privilege to work on other people's trees. They entrust you with working on them. So yeah, I look forward to. This is just the cedar. I've got a couple other, a small juniper, which will be a bit of fun, a bit interested. But then I've got a really spectacular, quite an old juniper procumbens, which is going to look spectacular. I haven't even looked. I've just started. I haven't even actually touched it yet. But we'll go through the process of working on that tree, which will be quite impressive. So I'm just going to go away, work on this tree, wire it up, and I'll come and check in once in a while to show you how it's going. Okay, guys? So stay tuned. Alright, just a quick update where I'm at. Well, I haven't done this half the tree, but I've wired this branch and this branch. I've tried to create a lower pad. This pad here lower, the slightly one above it. This side, this should be just slightly higher than this one, just a bit higher there. There's a big nice pad there, and there's just one just above it up here. So I'll try and do this way, side on, so you can see there's a pad here, there's a pad just above it. It's probably hard to see this one, but you've got the big pad in here, and then just one above it here, trying to make a bit of a layered effect. But I'm trying to do clean lines underneath. Alright, so the tree's coming along really well, better than I expected. I think it's coming along quite nicely. Some of the things I've got to point out, firstly I've wired those bottom ones, the middle ones, this one in here, plus I put some heavy wire on the main trunk. Now, if you remember before, it was a bit more flatter before, so what I've done is I've actually tried to coil this around more, so this branch was a bit more down here and flatter. Now by coiling it up and around, so I've coiled it up around maybe a taller tree, but I put a coil in it so it doesn't make it so wide, it actually brings it in more narrow, which is what I was aiming to do. I'm going to work on this now and get it nice and tight and form the apex. So I've put in a branch here, put in some back branches just for depth. I'll show you that here. So they're just nice short branches just for depth. You can see the angles, everything's coming nicely forward. It's really starting to fill out really well. Some of the things I wanted to just come back to was, the pinching. You got to pinch out some of these. There's a lot of foliage. Sometimes little ones going down. Pinch them out, so otherwise you can't wire. One thing I did notice on this tree is there was a lot of wire marks from previous wirings, and you just have to be a bit wary and be careful with those, because because it actually some of the scarring is quite deep, you just got to be careful not to budge those too much, because you could damage the branch. So make sure when you wire, you don't go into the same groove that it was in. I do both things. I follow the wiring, the follow direction of the wiring previously, but I don't do it in the same groove. I go just beside it. So if the groove was there from previous, I just go next to it, so you're not doing over the same one. Some areas I do, if the wire mark was that way, I'll go with the wire this way. Sometimes I do that as well. Just be careful not to go into the groove, that's all, that it was in before. Okay, so starting to get there. I still probably want to tweak the tree a little bit. In front is around there, somewhere in this area. I think it's just slightly, I just want to slightly put it this way a bit. Interesting how it will come out. The back branch, this bothers me, this back branch here, but I'll leave it for now. It throws the tree out of whack a little bit. So I might have to, maybe I'll push it back more, maybe I'll put it backwards more, just to fix it up. I think maybe it has to go back a little bit more. Cedars are quite flexible, so that's really good. It's just that they do tend to spring back once the if you take the wire off. So try and leave the wire on as long as possible without damaging too much of the branch. I think I'd be happier with that. So let's see how we go with that. Okay. It's interesting because I've been wiring and haven't really looked at the tree as much. Alright, now I'm going to finish this top off and we'll see what the final result looks like. Okay, I'll be back shortly. Alright, so I've finished all my wiring on this tree. I've set all the branches. Now you can kind of see it looks more like a tree, or looks more like a bonsai. It looks really quite nice. I think by tightening that screwing, tightening that apex, that trunk up there, what I did before it was flat, I actually twisted it and turned it again and created a new crown. That branch that created the crown was probably out here somewhere sometime. I made it, twisted the whole trunk around and created an apex in here, branching all around. I'll just get a bit of a little spin so you can see it's quite symmetrical, some nice depth branches. This branch I might take off, but I'm going to leave it for now. It looks okay where it is. I think the front's in somewhere around there. I think I can't be sure, but now that I'm looking, somewhere in there. But you can see a much nicer style tree. Maybe it won't give you, maybe because the sun is in the back, I can't give you a good view. I'll do some photos of it, and I'll do another video of it in the morning when the sun's from the other side. So hopefully I can give you a better look of the depth in this tree. But I really liked it. I think it's come along really well. It looks like a nice cedar, nice tall big cedar. It would have been nice to have these bit bigger, but I've compacted the tree quite well. My only issue is this branch in here. I don't know if you guys can notice that. It kind of sticks out a bit. I was contemplating tightening it up a bit, or maybe it's not even needed, but I'm just leaving it there just for a bit of depth. Yeah, so that's the only concern. But I like the tree as it is. I'm just going to go now and clean up some of the wiring. I haven't trimmed off the edges properly. I'll just go in there, trim off the edges a bit, just to clean it up. I like how the pads are formed. Some clean lines as much as I can. I'll just keep going around and cleaning up some of these lines. So I'll do that now, and then I'll do another video of it in the morning when the sun's in the other direction. And I'm hoping you'll be able to see much better. It's very hard to see this tree in a camera without seeing it in person, but as I'm twisting it around, I'm sure you can see all the different layers and different pads. So very easy to work with cedars, I find, especially cedars of this quality. It's quite nice. Keeping the pads all formed, keep cleaning them out pretty easy. They're very flexible, so I find that it's very flexible. I guess that's probably a good and bad point, because when you go to when the wire comes off, they kind of spring back, so you've got to leave the wire on it that little bit longer. But other than that, I'm actually quite a fan of this tree. It looks really nice. Cool. I hope you guys enjoy that. I'll be back tomorrow morning and I'll show you how it looks like then. See you then. Alright, so it's the next morning and I thought I'd come out and do another quick video, show you the different view of the lighting change. I think it looks a lot better now. I adjusted this back branch just to pull it around a bit more to that side, so I think the tree looks really nice now. See how this isn't as straight now, it's more in that direction with that branch. Quite a nice tree, nice uniform all the way around and back to the front. Yeah, I think it's come up beautiful from where it started. Looks much nicer. Hopefully you can see the depth and the different angles and the different layers and the different levels of everything. The top needs to fill out like the bottoms. The bottoms are really good, nice and full, short little needles already and buds. So yeah, I think it's a bit of a success. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I hope my client's happy with it too. So hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Stay tuned. I'll try and do more videos, keep passing the time whilst we go through these health issues all around the world. So hopefully I can get some more videos up. Okay guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.